country's economy has reeled under the COVID-19 pandemic since early 2020. The government is trying to respond to this slack economy as the central bank has introduced a new guideline that supports more foreign direct investment. At the same time, there is also a call on the government to expedite procurement of vaccines to ensure economic activities return to normalcy at the earliest. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. Opposition alliance trying to corner Prime Minister only through provincial levels. Chief Minister of Sudhir Pashchim Province, Trilochan Bhatta, secures confidence vote. The country registered 108 COVID-19 deaths even as infection rate decreases. Government facing pressure to procure vaccines. The central government in India fixes maximum price for COVID vaccines that private hospitals can charge amid opposition allegations of profiteering. And world number 2 Daniil Medvedev crashed out of the French Open as Stefanos Tsitsipas storms into the last four. The disgruntled faction of ruling CPN-UML seems to be gaining on the leadership faction at the provincial level, if not at the centre. Chief Minister of Sudhir Pashchim Province, Trilochan Bhatta, won the confidence vote yesterday with the support from the Madhav Kumar Nepal-led faction of CPN-UML. Premier Oli earlier had attempted to overthrow the opposition-led governments at provinces. Meanwhile, Chief Ministers of Lumbini and Gandaki provinces have been doing all legworks to save their own positions. Chief Minister of Lumbini Province, Shankar Pokhrel, was reappointed to the post without securing confidence vote, while Chief Minister of Gandaki Province, Prithvi Subba Gurung, has been holding position bypassing the provincial assembly. Experts opine such practices raise question on political ethics and morality. The disgruntled faction of CPN-UML has joined hands with the opposition alliance at the provincial level to challenge Premier Oli's attempt to thwart any plans of an opposition-led government. Likewise, in Gandaki province, the opposition alliance is challenging Chief Minister Gurung. Meanwhile, in Province 2, Chief Minister Lal Baru Raut is forming a coalition government with the support of Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Centre, relieving ministers from the Mahanta Thakur faction of Janata Samajwadi Party from their posts. It may be recalled that the unity among the opposition alliance in Karnali province had failed Premier Oli's gambit to overthrow the government. Even as the governments in Province 1 and Bagmati province are led by the Oli faction, experts say that the increasing hold of the opposition at the provincial level will largely affect Premier Oli in the central politics. The country witnessed more than 100 deaths due to coronavirus yesterday as 108 individuals succumbed to the deadly virus, taking the COVID-19 death tally to 8,098. Meanwhile, the total number of coronavirus cases in the country has climbed to 595,364 as 3,870 more individuals tested positive for the virus yesterday. The total infected includes 61.04% males and 38.96% females. There are 11,423 active cases in Kathmandu district, 4,501 in Lalitpur and 3,454 in Bhaktapur district. 12,065 tests through PCR method were carried out in the past 24 hours, according to the Health Ministry. 6,570 individuals registered full recovery, taking the recovery tally to over 5.45 million and the recovery rate to 84.7%. The death rate stands at 1.6%. Based on the latest report by the Health Ministry, 76,550 of the infected are currently in home isolation, 1,321 in intensive care and 372 in ventilator support. It has been 4.5 months since the government began COVID-19 vaccination campaign. So far, the government has been able to fully vaccinate just over 2.1 million of the total population, while around 1.4 million elderly citizens are deprived of the second jab due to unavailability of vaccines. We have more in this report.
Nepal has received around 4.15 million vaccines through procurement or grants from various countries since 21st January. 1 million of these vaccines were brought by the government, while the remaining received as grants. China provided 1.8 million varicella vaccines, while 1 million Covishield vaccines were provided by India as grant. Likewise, Nepal received 350,000 Covishield under the COVAX facility. Meanwhile, of the 2 million vaccines purchased from India's Serum Institute, Nepal has yet to receive 1 million doses. Serum Institute has said it cannot provide the remaining vaccines despite receiving the payment due to government ban on export of vaccines considering the demand in the country. The government, apart from these countries, has not taken adequate initiatives for vaccine procurement. The Health Ministry, meanwhile, has claimed that it has been corresponding with USA, Denmark and Britain to procure AstraZeneca vaccines, Russia for Sputnik V and China for varicella vaccines. The ministry officials have added that efforts are underway to procure America's Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines. The government, however, is unaware of the procurement expenses and when the vaccines will arrive. The government had granted permits to 3 private companies last month to procure Covishield, Covaxin and Sputnik V vaccines. The companies, however, have made no initiatives to procure the said vaccines. The government, in the meantime, is more inclined towards reaching out for grants rather than procuring the life-saving drug. President MEDVEDEV Bhandari in late May urged India, the USA and Britain for vaccines. The president held a telephone conversation with a Chinese counterpart who agreed to provide 1 million doses of varicella vaccines. The said number has arrived and the government began providing the vaccines to elderly population between the age of 62 to 64 years. However, other elderly citizens who are awaiting their second jabs of Covishield vaccines since mid-February are uncertain when their second doses will be available. Health experts have warned the delay in providing second jabs on time will result in ineffectiveness of the vaccine overall.
Welcome back. The central bank has issued a new foreign investment and loan management guideline that has facilitated processes at foreign direct investment sector in the country. Based on the guidelines, an approval from the Department of Industry or the Investment Board would be adequate for any interested party to deposit investable amount from any investors abroad to any commercial bank in the country. Earlier, an approval from the central bank was mandatory for any FDI in addition to the approval from the Department of Industry and Investment Board. However, interested parties can now inform the central bank with a written letter after it receives approval from the Department of Industry or the Investment Board. Foreign currencies can then be deposited to commercial banks. Banks will need to inform the central bank on a quarterly basis. The central bank has also provisioned to provide approval for repatriating dividends within 15 days. Likewise, audit reports will not be required for the investments worth up to $1 million. The central bank has also eased processes for foreign loan approval and accounting. Applications with complete documentation for foreign loans will now be approved within 15 days. Experts believe the new provisions will ease foreign investment support at the country's business environment. The new provision has been introduced with the initiatives of Governor Mahaprasad Adhikari, who has previously served as Chief Executive at the Investment Board. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked local residents in Dadalthura what is the reason behind the spread of coronavirus in rural areas. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
भोज भतेरहरु पनि गरिरहने त्यस्तै गरी अब यो विवाहमा चाहिँ 2-3 दिनसम्म एकदमै त्यो मनाइरहने त्यो के रे अलग-अलग नबस्ने हैन यो विभिन्न कारणले गर्दा सुरक्षाको सामग्रीहरु पनि नअपनाएर पनि एकदमै गाउँतिर चाहिँ बढिरहेछ।
सामाजिक दूरी कायम कम गर्ने समझदारीको कारणले यहाँ बढी सङ्करित हुने कारण त्यो
गाउँकै मान्छेहरूले आपसमा भेट्ने कुराहरू रह्यो अनि त्यसपछि मास्कको प्रयोग नगर्ने यस्ता सामाजिक दूरी कायम नगर्ने यस्ता कुराहरूले गर्दा पनि कोरोना ग्रामीण भेगमा चाँडै फैलियो।
भारतबाट घर फर्किनेहरूको सङ्ख्या निकै बढ्यो र त्यो सङ्ख्या घर आएपछि उनीहरूले जो यो स्वास्थ्यका मापदण्डहरू थिए ती मापदण्ड पुरा नगरेको परिस्थिति रह्यो।
सानोतिनो भइराखेको पचाउन सक्ने मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ चेक गराउनै मानेन र जसले गर्दाखेरि त्यो कोभिड भएको पोजिटिभ भएको पनि थाहा भएन र जनमानसमा अनि उहाँहरूको चाहिँ सबैसँग संसर्ग भयो अनि त्यसले गर्दाखेरि गाउँघरमा बढी फैलिरहेको
जहाँबाट आए पनि सिधै घरमा आउन लागेका छन्। त्यो कारणले पनि अब घरका सदस्यहरूसँग बस्ने भयो, अलग नबस्ने भयो।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: what is the reason behind the government's repeated failure to procure COVID-19 vaccines? The options: option A, lack an international market; option B, lead initiative; and option C, commission gain. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.